Hey guys, today we're going to cover the astrology of the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party. And as soon as the eclipse season kicked in this year, they were unexpectedly hit with shocking revelations, sudden change of leadership. So in this quick video, we're going to look at the actual lunar eclipses that took place and how it impacted the chart of the DUP party and how the incidents and happenings took place. So eclipse season 2024, two particular seasons, two eclipse seasons. The first one was 25th of March, followed by a solar eclipse on the 8th of April. Then later in the year, come September, October, we're going to have another two eclipses. And the DUP are certainly not out of the woods yet. There's more to come, but we're going to look at what has happened and what may be coming up. Now, I understand this is a video based on a political party, but I do not want to take sides. I'm an astrologer. I'm not a politician. I'm just going to cover through an astrological lens what has actually been going on, because the politics in Northern Ireland are really exciting at the minute, because we've recently had Sinn Féin for the first time in 100 years becoming the #1 party as a nationalist returns the largest vote in a unionist state, which has never happened before. So there's lots of interesting things going on in the political front at the minute. So I wish to provide unbiased opinions because I want the best for everyone, regardless of your belief or any political persuasion. I think everyone deserves to live the best possible life they can. And this country, Northern Ireland, it is one of the most politically challenged countries of the world. I don't think we realize that in this country, but we are. Ideally, and I think ideally, people should be able to live without fear. You shouldn't be worried about being attacked or threatened or killed because of your religious beliefs or the identity you choose, whether you want to choose a British identity or nationalist Irish identity. I don't think you should be criticized for that. You should be able to call yourself or be who you want to be. So let's look at what happened on this. This is the eclipse of the 25th of March, 2024. So what actually occurred here, the lunar eclipse here at 5 Libra, it fell right on the sun placement of the DUP party's chart. Now, the DUP party was launched on the 30th of September, 1971, and the inner wheel here is the chart of that particular event. So the sun in a political chart like this, or the chart of a country or the chart of a business, the sun represents the leader, the person who is the highest position, so to speak. So what we can see here, the eclipse has taken the leader out, and we know that Jeffrey Donaldson was arrested, taken out of the scene, resigned from his position immediately. So he has been eclipsed out of the picture completely. We've also had Venus on the midheaven. The midheaven is the public view, everything that's on the public view. And we have also had Venus impacted by the south node, and that's how eclipses occur, because they come to close. The sun and the moon come so close to the nodal points. Those are the crossing points of the sun and moon, where they descend and then they ascend. So this is the south node, which was impacted here, or which was impacting the Venus-Uranus conjunction, which is a letting go of things. It's things that are descending out of the light, so to speak. So this resulted in Jeffrey Donaldson resigning from his position. So he's not coming back. He's gone, eclipsed out of the scene completely. Venus represents charm. So we can look at this as the leader with the charmed life taking out. And it happened so quickly, so fast. It was actually a shock to the whole nation what actually occurred. And that can be represented by the Venus-Uranus. That's shocking revelations. Okay. And let's move on to the solar eclipse then, which occurred up here, this is the chart of the DUP still, and it was right on the cusp of the 10th house. The 10th house is the public view. It's also the sign that represents government. And what's actually occurred here, they're going to have to begin something new. Now, they've also had Venus opposing their sun. Venus is up here opposing the sun as well. And the south node still there because the nodes are very slow at moving, 18.5 years approximately to do a full cycle. And we've also had Mercury retrograde through the 10th and the 9th houses. So Mercury retrograde is saying, okay, we need to rethink. We need to go back, rethink our strategy going forward. What is our vision? What kind of meaning? What kind of purpose? What's the story, the vision that we are sending out? So Mercury retrograde is allowing this allowing the DUP basically to go back and think, right, what are we going to do here? What's our new vision going forward? And this impacted the party terribly. It's a revelation like that when your leader is arrested on charges of rape. And 11, apparently there's 11 charges. So the leader of the party, wow, this is big, this is huge. So what we actually have coming up here in terms of other transits, but these have all been kind of impacted by the eclipse. So we've had Neptune applying up here in opposition to the DUP's Mercury and Pluto. They're also quite close to the sun as well, which represents the leadership again. So this is about new vision. And the upcoming Pluto transit to the moon over here, transiting Pluto and the DUP moon at 3 degrees of Aquarius. Those are future transits which are going to take place within the next 2 years. And we're going to have a look at that as well afterwards. So this current eclipse season has really impacted the DUP on a massive scale. So, and here we have the new leader, the interim leader. So he's not permanently voted in as a permanent leader, he's interim. So his time may be limited, but his chart is very interesting. It's a fan-shaped chart. Now, normally we use Chiron here would be like the handle of the chart where you would wave the fan about. Wouldn't normally use Chiron because it's not considered one of the major planets. But in this case, it's very significant as we go on to look at the chart for the DUP and how this guy here, Chiron, impacts that chart. And we'll look at that. Now, Gavin Robinson's chart it's a bundle wedge-shaped chart, which means there's an intense concentration of energy within a certain aspect. So all of his planets make a square aspect. They're all contained within that square aspect. So whenever he was born, it was like all of the planetary energies in the universe were squashed into this little section, and that really concentrates the energies. So this is an energy that Gavin has lived with his whole life. He probably is not aware of this intense concentration of energy, but it really means that there's a lot going to happen. You've got a lot of focus on certain areas of life, and that's where you will work through, so to speak. So his planets, the two outer planets, one here is Pluto, the other is Mars, and those are both the leaders, both the rulers of the sign of Scorpio, which is a really intense sign, and it typically means transformation. So it's deep transformation. So it's all about the psyche, going deep, understanding what's hidden within. And this is about understanding psychological issues, overcoming psychological issues so that you can rebirth and become a better person than what you were before. Like something more beautiful, perhaps, like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon and entering a new phase of life, born with wings so that it can fly around and be free. So, yep, this is very intense energy for Gavin. Now, we're not sure of his particular birth time. If he was born after 9:34 at night, his moon will have changed signs into Sagittarius. But for the purposes of this, we're using a midday chart and his moon is in Scorpio. Same with the sun. His sun is right on the cusp of Sagittarius. And as long as he was born after 3:10 that morning, his sun will be in Sagittarius. If it was before that, it will be in the sign of Scorpio. But we're working with this energy, sun in Sagittarius, moon in Scorpio. If we ever get an exact birth time, then we'll know exactly which planets are where. Now, we can't use an ascendant for Gavin, and we can't use the astrological houses, again, because we don't know the actual time of his birth. So these are the planets, the signs that are activated and enhanced in Gavin's chart. Scorpio, which is about transformation. Sagittarius here, which is about vision going forward with meaning and purpose. Capricorn is about empire. So Capricorn is a very ambitious sign. So it's about what you're building, what you want to achieve. So it's leaving what kind of empire are you trying to build in the world. And then we have his Mars here in Aquarius, which is all about the collective vision and driving forward to get to achieve the goal of whatever collective vision you have. So Gavin being involved in politics, I'm sure he is well aware of his personal vision for the collective. So that's what he's working through in his political career. Now, how does he connect with the actual DUP? So let's go back to Gavin's sun, 0 degrees Sagittarius. The DUP have 2 planets very close to that degree, one exactly on it, which is Neptune, and beside that, Jupiter. These are the 2 planets that represent the sign of Pisces, and that, again, it's all about collective vision, and it's about illusion as well. So the illusion for the DUP is currently impacted in a negative way because they're kind of all over the place. So Gavin's sun is being brought in to shine light on that particular area about illusion and vision going forward. So let's look at what else we have. So we have Gavin's Chiron. We spoke earlier of why his Chiron placement was so important. And here we can see why. It's right on the planet Saturn. This is the DUP chart again. Now, Saturn is stability, it's discipline, it's strategy and planning going forward. In recent times, the DUP, the party themselves, have been pretty unstable because they were undecided. They couldn't really agree as a party what way to go forward with the protocol. Different decisions within the party, probably little rows going on. And each politician, each of the bigger ones seem to have their own ideas, their own vision about going forward and agreements and disagreements and things like that. So Gavin's Chiron, what is Chiron? Chiron is known as the wounded healer, but he was much more than that. He was an educator, he was a trainer, he was skilled in different arts, different techniques, arts of war, martial arts, astrology, healing. It could have been a doctor. He was like medicinal purposes, things like that. He trained all new recruits and trained everyone in an educational kind of way. So wounded healer, the other big thing with Chiron is his inner wounds would never be healed. But on his life path of understanding his weaknesses, he learned different things and therefore was able to pass healing on to others through his great knowledge and experience through life. So we can look at this particular aspect as Gavin being the person who can provide vision and stability, education, and fixing the unstable kind of position that the DUP are in. They're all over the place, so to speak, as represented by the sign of Gemini. There's so many things going on, heading in different directions at the same time. Gavin, with his sun here, on the Neptune, Jupiter, and his Chiron on the Saturn. He's brought in as to heal the party, to get them, to bring them back together, to try and create some kind of vision going forward. Okay. So all his energy connects in here. Remember, we spoke about his bundle, the wedge energy, it's all concentrated. It takes in the moon placement of the DUP because his Mars energy is right on it, and it's squared off by Pluto. So Gavin has come in, interim leader. He's not permanent leader, he's interim. So he's coming in with an enormous task, such a challenging task to reinvent, to transform the vision going forward for the DUP. The moon is the heart of the party, and it's also the core mission of what the party are trying to do. And it's also the core mission and the agenda that they're sending out to the people, the voting public, who want to vote them back in, if they're going to vote them back in. So his challenge is daunting, to say the least, but he's up for the task because his chart impacts the DUP chart exactly. And the moon is what the party needs. They need to get everything going together. They need to get it going. They need to get a strong vision together again. And at the minute, because they're so divided, it's difficult to do. But Gavin can be the person who can provide that. So coming up later on the 18th of September, the next lunar eclipse is at 25 Pisces. It's opposite the Mercury-Pluto conjunction again, which we mentioned earlier, which is going to bring in this Neptune as well. So that's about the vision. This is going to activate the next transit that's coming. Okay. After that, we also have the next solar eclipse at 10 Libra, which is down here, so close to the DUP, Sun, Uranus, and also their Venus. So this is huge. This is where we're probably going to see a new leader emerge with a new vision and a new change in direction. Because after such drastic, massive, huge goings on with a party, they're not going to be the same again. They need to change. They have been forced to change. So this is all about new vision. So it'll be interesting to see who comes forward. So we don't know about Gavin Robinson if he will remain. He's only interim, but whether he will go for permanent leadership himself, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So the ones that are coming up, they have a Saturn conjunct the midheaven from April 2024 to January 2025. So that's a 3-hit transit because Saturn actually goes back through the sky in retrograde motion. Well, it appears to. And this is about stabilizing the vision that they're sending out, their agenda, so to speak, or they call it manifesto, I think. So this is about stabilizing their public image. Saturn will leave trine the ascendant then in February 2025. That's one hit. So whatever they're working to achieve up until January 2025, they will go forward with that new vision from February 2025 onward. Then the Neptune opposite Mercury is active from May 2024 up until March 2025. 3 hits. This is about the new vision and sending this new vision out there. It's like a company doing a re-advertising or rebranding campaign to create a new vision, a new illusion, so to speak. That's going on up until March 2025. And then from 2025 to 2026, we have that big, massive Pluto transit to the moon. And that's going to transform and reinvent the whole party completely. And it might have to deconstruct completely So it's quite possible in this time, the DUP will not find themselves as the largest unionist party in Northern Ireland. They may be overtaken, because this is all about a death and then a transformation and then a rebirth. So there's something big coming in the future, and those are the dates for the DUP. So I'm Greg, Stardrifter Astrology. Please like and subscribe my video. I am available for forecasts, natal consultations as well, and providing insights from a cosmic viewpoint, not from a political viewpoint. But it's good to know what transits you have coming up personally as well, so that you can plan ahead and prepare for what kind of future may be coming. So yeah, again, please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment with opinions, ideas, or any suggestions that you would like to see, or anything you think I may have missed. But in the meantime, yeah, keep going. Thank you.